There is a tier of the business advice world that doesn't have a sales page. You apply, you get on a call, and a number lands somewhere between $5,000 and $50,000 a year for a mastermind. A curated room of operators, a leader with a name, and the promise that proximity to the right people will pay for itself. Some of these rooms genuinely change trajectories. Others are charging luxury car money for a group chat full of strangers who also just paid to get in. So we open the file on the high-ticket mastermind, what the ticket actually buys, and how to tell the two apart before you wire the money. Start by separating the product from the pitch, because a mastermind sells 4 things and only some of them are real. The first is content, frameworks, playbooks, recorded calls. The second is access, proximity to a successful leader and to peers operating above your level. The third is accountability, a structure that makes you actually execute. And the fourth, the one nobody prints on the invoice, is identity, the feeling of being someone in the room. Here is the honest part. The content is almost never the value. Most of what gets taught in a $25,000 room exists in a $40 book or a free podcast feed. What you are genuinely paying for is the other 3, curated peers, real accountability, and the status of belonging. The audit question is whether the room delivers the first 2 or just sells you the 4th. Look at what these rooms actually cost, because the published fees set the bar the value has to clear. Joe Polish's Genius Network runs $25,000 a year, with an inner tier at $100,000. Russell Brunson's Inner Circle has been listed at $50,000 a year. The War Room Mastermind ranges from $20,000 to $50,000. Tiger 21, aimed at high net worth members, sits around $30,000 to $35,000. Step down from the celebrity names, and the broader market still runs roughly $1,000 to $25,000 a year for a paid group. So the high-ticket category isn't a fringe, it's a deep market with 5-figure pricing as the norm. And 5 figures a year recurring is not a course fee. It's a line item that has to produce a return, or it's a luxury purchase wearing a business costume. So run the number the marketing never runs for you. Take a $25,000 mastermind. To break even, it has to generate $25,000 in profit you would not otherwise have made. Not revenue, profit. At a 20% net margin, that's $125,000 in new sales every year just to get back to zero. For a $50,000 room, double it, $250,000 in incremental revenue to break even. And that's the easy half. The hard half is the word attributable. The mastermind takes credit for everything good that happens while you're a member. But you are also working, learning, and growing on your own. The real return is only the slice that exists because of the room and would not exist without it. Almost no one isolates that slice, which is exactly why the break-even feels easier than it is. Now, the flaw that makes every testimonial suspect. Masterminds market themselves with success stories. The member who tripled revenue, the founder who landed the deal. But think about who is in a $50,000 room in the first place. To write that check, you are already running a profitable business, already growing, already the kind of operator who invests aggressively in yourself. The room didn't make you that person. It selected for that person. This is textbook survivorship bias, judging a thing by its survivors while the failures stay invisible. Researchers describe it precisely. The bias is strongest in self-selected samples, where everyone you see has already passed through a filter before you observe them. The members who paid, saw nothing, and quietly left don't film testimonials. So when a high performer credits the mastermind, the honest question is the uncomfortable one. Would they have hit those numbers anyway? For a large share of them, the answer is yes. Then there's the trick hiding in the number itself. In consumer psychology, price isn't just a cost, it's a signal. The price-quality heuristic says people read a high price as evidence of high quality, even when nothing about the actual offering justifies it. The classic demonstration is wine. Tell people a bottle is expensive, and they report it tastes better, even when blind tastings say otherwise. Anchoring stacks on top. The first big number you see reshapes what every later number feels like. High-ticket masterminds run on both. The $50,000 fee isn't an accident of cost. It is the marketing. It signals exclusivity, it filters for committed buyers, and it makes a $25,000 room feel like a sensible discount by comparison. The danger is circular. The price makes the room feel valuable. That feeling justifies the price, and at no point does anyone measure whether the room produced anything. You can be anchored into paying for the signal and calling it the product. Before you wire anything, read how you get out. because the contract tells you what the operator actually believes. High-ticket masterminds and coaching programs lean heavily on non-refundable structures. Deposits of a couple $1,000s routinely don't come back. Many programs make all sales final once access opens, or cap cancellation at a 72-hour, or even a 24-hour window. The stated reason is always preparation and limited spots. But a guarantee tied to outcomes is rare at the top of this market, and that absence is information. Note the contrast with the regulated end of the spectrum. The Federal Trade Commission has returned tens of millions of dollars to consumers from deceptive coaching schemes, more than 28 million in one case alone. Most masterminds aren't scams, but a 5-figure purchase with no refund, no outcome guarantee, and testimonials selected from the survivors deserves the same scrutiny you'd give any deal where all the risk sits on your side of the table. So when is a high-ticket mastermind worth it? Here is the decision framework. 4 tests the room must pass. First, the peers. Are the other members genuinely operating above your level in your specific arena? Or is it a mixed room of people whose main qualification is that they also paid? Curated peers are the entire product. An uncurated room is a paid group chat. Second, accountability. Is there real structure that forces execution or just optional calls you'll skip? Third, the math. Can you name a specific, attributable outcome that clears the break-even, the new profit that exists only because of the room? If you can't name it before you join, you won't be able to after. Fourth, the terms. Is there any guarantee, any alignment of risk, or does every dollar of downside sit on you? A room that passes all 4 can be one of the highest return purchases a growing operator makes. A room that fails them is selling you proximity, anchoring, and the feeling of belonging at a luxury markup. The price tells you nothing. The 4 tests tell you everything. Diligence is on you from here.